They say the first sign of trouble in the galaxy is when Terrans start smiling too much. Not the friendly smile, mind you, the one where their eyes don't quite match their mouths, where you feel like you've wandered into a predator's den and the predator is pretending to be a host. The Federation missed that memo. The Federation missed a lot of memos. The first attack came on a Tuesday, which is a profoundly human kind of tragedy. Humanity has a complicated relationship with Tuesdays. Mondays you expect to be bad, but Tuesday feels like betrayal. So when the Federation's 7th Expansionary Fleet tore through the relay near Proxima and announced Earth was now under galactic jurisdiction, humans responded the way we usually do, with coffee, sarcasm, and war crimes scheduled between conference calls. Ambassador Jonas Hale was the first Terran voice the Federation heard after their ultimatum. He didn't look like a warrior. Hale was thin, clean-shaven, perpetually polite, the kind of man who looked like he'd apologize for bumping into a chair. But the Federation should have noticed how he never stopped smiling during the emergency session. "Esteemed representatives," Hale began, his tone smooth and diplomatic, "we acknowledge the Federation's concern for stability. You've declared our solar system your property, and we, how do I put this delicately, find that position hilarious." The chamber erupted in offended clicks, hisses, and growls. The Valari delegate slammed a claw on the table. "Humans, your primitive world is irrelevant. The Federation expands as it wills. Resistance will be crushed." Hale adjusted his cufflinks like a man about to order dessert. "Crushed? I see. Do you have a preferred style? Paperweight, soda can, or more of a pestle and mortar arrangement?" The Valari snarled. Other delegates whispered. Hale sipped his water, perfectly at ease. Then he leaned in, lowering his voice just enough to make the translators strain. "I should mention," he said pleasantly, "the last empire that tried to crush Earth now exists only in museums. Rome, I believe they were called. Lovely architecture. Terrible invasion policy." The laughter was human only, short, sharp, unsettling. The Federation dismissed it as bravado. They shouldn't have. When the Federation fleet entered Sol, they expected chaos. They found nothing. No scrambling fleets, no planetary shields. Earth didn't even raise orbitals in defense. The alien admirals whispered of cowardice, of a species too naive to resist. "Admiral," said a young Altari officer aboard the flagship Iron Dominion, "scans show minimal resistance. Should we commence occupation?" "Proceed," the admiral rumbled. "Let this backward rock learn obedience." The first wave descended. They expected to land on undefended cities. Instead, they landed on Kansas. For the record, do not invade Kansas. The Federation troops arrived in perfect formation, gleaming armor shining under the sun. Waiting for them were farmers in dusty hats, chewing straw, leaning against tractors like props in a comedy skit. "You boys lost," one farmer drawled, spitting tobacco with surgical accuracy onto a soldier's polished boot. The aliens demanded surrender. The farmers demanded to know if the invaders planned to pay for trampling the wheat. The clash ended when a drone convoy, accidentally, dropped a load of combine harvesters on an armored transport. The soldiers learned two things that day: humans weaponize everything, and never underestimate someone holding a wrench. The invaders reported back, flustered. The admiral dismissed it as a localized anomaly. They advanced further. That was when the graveyard began to grow. Jonas Hale appeared on the Federation's public broadcast shortly after. He stood in front of Earth's UN flag, smiling warmly, as if announcing a bake sale. "To our galactic neighbors," he began, "we note your declaration of ownership. Unfortunately, Earth is not available. We're terribly sorry for the inconvenience. If you'd like, We can put your empire on a waiting list. Estimated time to fulfillment. Never. The broadcast cut to footage. The galaxy watched, horrified, as Terran ships, rusty freighters, ancient destroyers, civilian craft with duct-taped missile racks, ambushed the Federation's fleets with surgical precision. "Ladies and gentlemen," Hale narrated, "welcome to Terran space. Entry fee, 1 warship. Exit fee, impossible." The alien armadas vanished, one by one. Not in glorious last stands, just in eerie silence. Ships went dark, communications ceased. When scouts dared return, they found hulks drifting, stripped of weapons, hulls carved with a single phrase in Terran script, "No trespassing." The Federation panicked. "Impossible!" cried Chancellor Velos before the Council. "Humans lack the fleets. They lack the numbers." "Yes," murmured the Zerati delegate, her compound eyes reflecting unease. "And yet, they do not lack the results." Reports flooded in. Human tactics were bizarre, illogical, and devastating. One fleet was lured into the rings of Saturn, where hidden satellites shredded their formation like glass through silk. Another was led into Jupiter's shadow, only to be annihilated by mass-driver projectiles launched from moons the Federation hadn't bothered to scan. And then came Mars. Oh, Mars. The Federation believed Mars was empty. It wasn't. The Martian colonies had been quiet for decades, mostly ignored. But when the invaders landed, they found tunnels stretching miles deep, filled with old mining equipment repurposed into weapons. One Federation general scoffed at the resistance, until an O'Haller dropped an asteroid on his command center. A single survivor reported back, trembling, "The humans turned the planet itself against us." Meanwhile, Hale kept smiling. At every diplomatic meeting, he arrived with courteous manners, immaculate suits, and subtle daggers of wit. "Ambassador Hale," one alien snapped during a negotiation, "do you humans even understand the might of the Federation?" Hale tilted his head, all charm. "Oh, absolutely. It's very impressive. Truly. We're just wondering, would you prefer your ships returned intact, or is scrap metal acceptable?" Every time the Federation threatened escalation, another fleet went missing. Every time they promised annihilation, another graveyard bloomed in the stars. Rumors spread. Terran space was cursed. Terran weapons defied logic. Some whispered that humans didn't fight wars, they hunted them. The climax came with the Federation's Grand Armada, the largest force ever assembled, a swarm of steel and plasma stretching across light hours. Their confidence was absolute. "This time," the Admiral declared, "Earth will burn." It never fired a shot. When the Armada reached Sol, they found it waiting, the Terran fleet. Not hundreds of ships, not thousands, dozens. Outnumbered 100 to 1. Yet every Terran ship drifted calmly, weapons cold, as though they were hosting guests. Hale himself hailed the Armada. His voice was calm, almost kind. "Good evening. You are trespassing. Normally, this would warrant eviction. But given the size of your fleet, we've decided to offer a demonstration." The Terran fleet moved. Not with weapons fire, not with brute force. Instead, the planets themselves responded. Mars spat railgun fire from hidden platforms. Venus's orbit revealed satellites weaponized into energy lances. The asteroid belt fractured into guided missiles, thousands of rocks tearing through alien hulls. And then, with cruel poetry, Earth's moon rotated, revealing its hidden surface, a lattice of launch ports that hadn't been public in decades. From the gray dust rose the old Terran dreadnoughts, relics of forgotten wars, silent and patient. They opened fire. The Armada died screaming. In less than an hour, The pride of the Federation was reduced to silent wrecks, drifting among the bones of their predecessors. Hale appeared on every channel in the galaxy. His smile was unchanged. "Terran space," he said softly, "is closed. Please respect the signs." In the aftermath, the Federation fractured. Some species fled, others sued for peace. The graveyards grew into legends. Pilgrims whispered of ghost fleets drifting near Earth, each hull a warning. But here's the twist. Years later, an alien scholar uncovered fragments of human communication. Not military codes, not battle orders, memes. Jokes about coffee-fueled engineers duct-taping railguns to satellites. Threads where humans debated whether to name their defense grid after obscure movie villains. Plans scribbled in forums, turned real by sheer audacity. The galaxy realized, with collective horror, that humanity's war machine wasn't just strategic genius. It was improv comedy with nukes. And worst of all, we were laughing the whole time.